help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF, Fergus Falls.
I'm Jason Dynison. The Twins stopped a 4-game losing streak by beating Toronto last night 2-0 at Target Field. Starter Pablo Lopez pitched 7 2/3 innings of shutout ball to pick up the win, and he's now pitched 20 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings overall. Manager Rocco Baldelli says Lopez is getting better as the season goes on.
He's preparing for this last offseason. He's preparing for everything going on right now, and he looks just the way he would want to look right now and just the way I would want him to look. I think everyone's very, very pleased to watch him go out there and be in control of everything. He's been going on like this for a while now, and I'm sure he's planning on doing it for a while.
Cleveland won last night while Kansas City lost, so the AL Central standings now show Cleveland in first place by 2.5 games over Kansas City and 3.5 over Minnesota. The Minnesota Lynx lost at Dallas on Friday night, 94-76. The Lynx had won 7 in a row coming into the game, and they led by 1 point at halftime in this game, but Dallas ran away with it in the second half. Minnesota returns home to play Chicago tomorrow afternoon. The Vikings open the regular season a week from tomorrow, September 8th, at the Giants. GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa on quarterback Sam Darnold.
I think he's been really good for this team, talented, came in right away, and his teammates, these football players are evaluators too. They know very quickly whether guys can play, and that's an important thing. And they knew very quickly how talented he was, how relatable he is to his teammates, the leadership, all that stuff. So we're excited about Sam.
Game time at the Giants next Sunday is at noon. Minnesota United is at San Jose tonight in MLS action. Match time is 9:30. And the St. Paul Saints split a doubleheader at Omaha yesterday, losing 6-5 in Game 1, but winning Game 2 8-3. I'm Jason Dynison, and this is MNN.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get cloudy. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
Affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control. And priming the brain for other addictions. Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on the KBRF Radio YouTube channel for the weekly news recap, where I recap the week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch on YouTube after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument. Online at ForeverStoneMemorial.com, memorials that matter. And Willigards, your local Mahindra dealer on Highway 13 West, Wapaton.
The Speedway Motors Westota 100, fueled by Minnesota Motor Company, Wash and Go Falls Laundromat, and KJ Country 96.5. September 11th through the 14th at I-94 EMR Speedway, Fergus Falls. Tickets and camping info at Westota.org. Drivers from around the upper Midwest will compete to be awarded Speedway Motors Westota 100 champion. Catch the action live on KJ Country 96.5 and with the Fergus Now app. Special thanks to Swanson Equipment, Fire Towing and Transport, and West Metro GMC Buick. The Speedway Motors Westota 100, where adrenaline meets excitement.
Looking for a place where fitness, community, and family fun come together? Join the YMCA of the Northern Sky. With 2 welcoming facilities in Fargo, North Dakota, and 1 in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, we've got something for everyone. At the Y, you'll find expert guidance, state-of-the-art equipment, great programs for the whole family, and a supportive community cheering you on every step of the way. Visit YMCANorthernsky.org today and discover why we're a place where you truly belong. That's YMCANorthernsky.org.
Wilkincock. Your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
News Talk 1250 KBRF presents Super Sports Saturday on 1250 AM KBRF and the KBRF Radio YouTube page. Super Sports Saturday is proudly brought to you by Quality Toyota, LB Homes, Nelson Auto Center, American Federal Bank, the Minnesota Motor Company, the American Legion, and by Artisan Agency. And now here's KBRF Sports Director Craig Olson.
Well, thank you, David Bishop. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. And I've been doing this a long time, but I've never done it on video. So welcome to our video audience also on our KBRF YouTube station and on News Talk 1250 KBRF. And we are going to be talking with Fergus Falls coaches over the next 90 minutes. And last night started the football season, or well, Thursday night actually started the football season. So just a quick recap for you on the action. We had Hillcrest on Thursday night. They had quite a shootout with Foston. The Greyhounds were in town. Comets took the lead late in the game, like 5 minutes left, and then Foston scored with 3 minutes left and won the game 38-34. So a tough loss for Corey Fry's guys on Thursday. And then last night the Otters took the trip to Park Rapids. What a great effort that was. No points allowed by the Otter defense. 30 yards of total offense for Park Rapids. The defense was dominant. And then offensively, Henry Bethel went nuts. He scored 3 rushing touchdowns, threw for 2 touchdowns. Otters win 39-0. We'll talk about that one with Chris Grabowska in just a few minutes. And earlier this week, the Otter cross-country team went to the Central Minnesota River Run, and both the boys and the girls were outstanding in their first competition of the season. We're going to be getting into that with Derek Meyer, the boys cross-country coach, as our first guest on the program today. And a lot of other topics as well. Girls tennis, I think Jamie Lill's team is already halfway done with their season, and school hasn't even started yet. They have been busy. We'll catch up with Jamie on that. We'll talk some boys soccer with Joel Heikus later. Sabrina Noon will be in to talk volleyball, and we're going to get Derek Abrahams on the hot seat too here this morning as the season starts, and the activities office, well, they've been going strong for the last month getting ready for all this, so we'll see how ready they are and talk to Derek about what's coming up. So let's take a break. We'll come back and begin the interview portion of our program this morning with Derek Meyer, the head coach of the Otter Boys cross country team, and that is coming up next as we continue our Super Sports Saturday here on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Student athletes have their eyes on the ball, making game plans, scoring points, breaking records. At American Federal in Fergus Falls, we know you have goals too. Whether it's buying farmland, business expansion, home ownership, or planning for retirement. Our trusted advisor, Dustin Morris, will help you find the best solutions and make the right calls. Make a winning appointment with an American Federal banker in Fergus Falls today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
The Speedway Motors Wissota 100, fueled by Minnesota Motor Company, Wash and Go, Falls Laundromat, and KJ Country 96.5. September 11th through the 14th at I-94 EMR Speedway, Fergus Falls. Tickets and camping info at wissota.org. Drivers from around the upper Midwest will compete to be awarded Speedway Motors Wissota 100 champion. Catch the action live on KJ Country 96.5 and with the Fergus Now app. Special thanks to Swanston Equipment, Buyer Towing and Transport, and West Metro GMC Buick. The Speedway Motors Wissota 100, where adrenaline meets excitement.
And we're back on our Super Sports Saturday talking with Derek Meyer, head coach of the Otter Boys cross country team. Derek got up early to do his hair and get ready for the video portion of the show, right, Derek?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was a little bit worried, and yeah, we had to get looking presentable.
You got your Otter apparel on, so that's good. You're thinking team right there. Well, the cross-country season started at the Vintage over by Staples, the Vintage Golf Course, and you had a great day, but the conditions, let's start there, because you never know what you're going to get in August in the early season in cross-country. And talk about that day, because it was not an easy day.
No, woke up in the morning, came outside, and the temperature was 80 degrees and about 100% humidity. And yeah, I just walking out to the car and being on the bus, it was just, it was brutal and very sweat dripping off of just myself, and I wasn't going to compete. So just tough conditions to put your body through, and it was a good day for the Otters too.
So for the runners, from their standpoint, weather like that, how do you kind of mentally get past the point that, man, this is a brutal day? And then, of course, being hydrated is so important too. But what are the main challenges in a day like that?
Just staying hydrated, keeping your body ready to exert itself in that extreme temperatures and conditions. So we brought extra water. We brought some things. We talked about hydrating, but at the same time, if they were putting in summer miles, we're bound to run into a day that mimicked that, and that's just a part of practicing and doing those things. So it's putting, so a lot of those successful runners on Monday, they had been through a couple of those hot days of, probably more heat than, when they were in July and stuff. So that's a little precursor of kind of what they had, but and just being warmed up and ready to race, and which isn't as hard when it's that warm either.
Right, you get limber pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
But a great day up and down the lineup, junior high, JV, varsity, all taking first place there. How many runners are we looking at for the boys this year?
We have about 45 boys. It's kind of split. We got about 18 for the junior high, and we had 21 running for the JV, and then we had 7 that we score for varsity. This race, it's nice to have something early where we don't have to declare it, just kind of what happens. So the JV and the varsity ran together, and then they just take your top 7 runners to score. And we did really well with the junior high boys ran first, and it's kind of exciting. That's the first group for those 7th graders, and just seeing them kind of pile through, and it creates good excitement of where we're at. And Dexter Fellstool led the way with those guys, and we kind of stacked them in with into the top 10. They got a little award going in there, so that was a fun start for that. And then when we got to the varsity race, the last race of the day, Jaden Miller and Logan Bradenberg were right up there, up front with Brady Roche from Bertha Hewitt, a strong runner, state competitor in the Class A. So just putting themselves up into that position. But really, it was like almost all Otter boys that were right behind them. The rest of the guys were a couple seconds behind them. But Logan Bradenberg has really kind of had a shining summer, and he's showing it I think at the 2-mile point, he was actually ahead of Jaden. So it was kind of exciting to see what was going to happen with that. And so he had a strong run and a strong day, and Jaden ended up taking him at the end there. But and then I think we had Michael Schmidt that came in, and then I'm thinking Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Henry was next with 4th. Brody Nelson was a surprise. Well, not really a surprise, but he had a strong track and field spring season, and it just kind of was I think I had mentioned one of the guys to watch out for, because he's starting to come into some fitness and how things are going. So he ended up with our 5 spot, and Matthew Toole was 6th on our team, and Micah Mosier was our 7th scorer. So.
And all placing in the top 10.
All placing in the top 10.
Wow. And unfortunately, you only keep 5 scores, but that's nice to have. If you went to a tiebreaker,
which we did last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. Well, these guys that you're mentioning, majority of them are seniors. You have a great senior class.
Yep.
And I know you've got a lot of captains because you kind of said, hey, guys, seniors, this is your team.
Yep. A lot of seniors, a lot of great leadership, and they really take on some of those different roles of where we need some of that leadership. So it's great to have a lot and have them fill in where they are. But it's going to be a great and exciting season. But I know that our underclassmen too are just as talented, and they're ready for their moments too. You know, just showing Brody coming from, he was our 8th, 9th runner last year, and he popped right into the 5th spot there. So it's going to be a continued rolling success here. We're not just going to got all of our senior boys and we're going to have to rebuild. We're going to reload.
That's a good thing. As a coaching staff, how much do you rely on your seniors to be, the role models and kind of the coaches in the competition to help the younger guys out there? Is there a good rapport there?
Yeah, quite a bit. We're relying on that because there's always going to be moments that are, we're off trying to deal with something else, of figuring something out with the bus or something like that. We're the logistics hard things to figure out. Who's got to pack the water and remember to bring the traveling trophies back, and the kids are they'll calm kids down, they'll pep kids up, they'll get them ready for the course, or just kind of give them some little hints of things like that. It's just, and a lot of it's probably subtle and not a lot of things get noticed, but I think we see it, and it can never be quantified for what they do for the younger kids. And that's when we meet at the end of the season with our banquet, and they have their advice to give to the kids. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of, it always comes full circle, because they want those generation of kids to have that same experience or better than what they had.
Yeah. We're talking with Derek Meyer of the Otter Boys cross country team. Season is underway. Every week, either Derek or Nikki Weldy of the girls team will be here to talk cross country. Let's touch on what the girls did, Derek, because they had a first place finish in the varsity, but it wasn't easy. 1-point victory over Staples Motley, but they're probably, having the same type of a feeling you're having, good leadership and good experience and a lot of high expectations.
Yeah, the girls team has had a lot more change, kind of probably more of a typical change than what I've had with the boys. I've had these guys for rolling along. So they lost a couple senior runners with Sarah Grotberg and Naomi Doomer, and then it was just kind of the reload moment with gaining some extra kids to come in there and fill some spots, and they did well. Cassie Wellman just absolutely crushed it. Her competitor from Staples is the Class A state champion, and she was just a couple seconds behind her. Actually, Cassie led probably 3/4 of the race before kind of getting tracked down. But that's just going to be kind of the season that Cassie's going to have of where she's at. And then we had newcomer 8th grader / tennis star Carson Will. She's going to dual compete for us, coming in on second on the team, 4th overall, and she is just going to be another young force, and she's only going to get better. Like you said on the intros of just how much tennis she's played, she hasn't had much time to get over to practice and stuff, but she definitely ran over the summer with everybody. And it's going to be awesome to watch her come and unfold.
And Allie Bradenberg's the same thing, right? She's playing tennis and running for you.
I think Allie had an aha moment where she ran a 5K race over the summer, and she kind of caught the bug there too. So yeah, we've got a couple that are doing some dual things, and it's going to be exciting to watch them. And tennis is one of those ones that just it ends a little bit early. Allie's done it a couple times where she's done it later in the season, but this is be her first season kind of coming on and doing things a little bit sooner. So.
And Violet McCann turned in her all-time best time on that course, and that was good.
Yeah, she had a strong race and she finished strong, and it's great to see her having success early, and she's bumped up a couple spots, and the girls they won by 1 point, and it's always interesting to see how the scoring comes in with the live scoring, because they've got you got to wait for some of those other teams to get some of their finishers to see where it goes. So it was at the initial one, it was we were down 1 point, and then they were tied, and then it was a moving and grooving with how things shaked out, and then everybody finished, and there they sat with 1 point, and not sure it was quite expected with like some of that senior leadership that we lost from last year, but like I said, the talent that we brought in too. And another note we had, also scoring there was Olivia Swanson. She's came from volleyball over as a senior, so she's been a senior or a great leader in the track and field realm. So just having her presence, and the girls all know her and love her too. So she was another great addition to the varsity group there too.
Looks like you have a pretty good battle for that number 5, 6, and 7 spot. 3 runners that are pretty close there with Julia Anderson and Olivia Swanson and Lydia Ogerud.
Yeah, and there'll be another addition. Savannah Lee, she was not available for that race, so she'll be another varsity runner. So yeah, it's good things are happening with the girls team too, and they're going to be a strong team, and exciting to watch all season.
Fun fall for the Otters. What's up next?
We got Detroit Lakes. They had informed us that there had been talk that maybe they would make the course a little easier. We'd just been planning that it wasn't, but it sounds like they're going to keep it the same, but it's also our section course, so we will have a larger turnout from other teams from the section that aren't usually at the meet. So we're excited to show off our team dynamic at the tough Detroit Lakes golf course.
A lot of hills over there, but the Otters don't mind hills.
No, we've had a tough training days here since Staples of just kind of pushing in and adding extra hills to just kind of put that extra emphasis of what we've got coming up.
All right, very good, Derek. Hey, thanks for kicking off the video portion of our Super Sports Saturday.
You bet, thanks.
All right. Derek Meyer, head coach of the Otter Boys cross country team. We're going to continue with our Super Sports Saturday. Otter football, Chris Grabowska coming up. Derek Abrahams, the AD from Fergus Falls High School. All of that coming up as we continue our program here on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Chevy Summer Drive event is going on now at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Enjoy cashback savings on vehicles like the Chevy Silverado, Equinox, Blazer, and more. Or well-qualified buyers can receive 1.9% APR for 36 months and no payments for 90 days when they finance with GM Financial. Contact the sales team for more information. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Hi, my name is Lori from LB Homes in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. We are growing our talented and dedicated team of LPNs, CNAs, and RNs, and we want to hear from you. Join our team and make a difference in the lives of our residents every day. To explore or apply, visit lbhomes.org/careers or call Heather at 218-998-1400. LB Homes, caring for you wherever you call home.
Want to spark the love of music in your family? A family membership to the Fergus Falls Concert Association is a perfect way to start. 6 outstanding concerts in Fergus Falls, plus your membership extends beyond Fergus Falls. Enjoy concerts in Wadena, Sauk Center, and Alexandria at no extra cost. On September 27th, experience the timeless hits of Billy Joel with Sing Us a Song, You're the Piano Man, featuring the superb showmanship of Jim Witter. On November 11th, classic combines with pop with Boyd Meets Girl, a cello and guitar duo that is performed around the world. Thanks to the generous support of Concert Association sponsors Quality Toyota, Nickel Moe and Ellig, Bayer Body and Towing, Minnesota Motor Company, Olson Funeral and Cremation Service, and Glendy Nelson Funeral and Cremation, Service Food, Ottertail Power Company, Kreckelberg Law Firm, and Pioneer Care. Season tickets are on sale now at the Victor Lundin Company or through your neighborhood ticket seller. Inspire a lifelong love of music in your family with the Fergus Falls Concert Association.
Welcome back to the program. It's our Super Sports Saturday mornings from 8 to 9:30 now. We have the program, Fergus Falls and Hillcrest coaches joining us for talking about their teams the previous week and the upcoming week, and just kind of a general overview of their teams. And Chris Grabowska is in his second year as head coach of the Otter football team. Welcome.
Thank you.
You had a road trip last night to Park Rapids, and it turned out pretty good, both sides of the ball. You just, it seemed like in listening to Mark Johnson's call last night, Chris, it seemed like you were just dominant on both sides of the ball, and the 39-0 score kind of indicates that.
Yeah, I thought we did a lot of things really well last night, and obviously when you play a game, there's always some things to work on. We're going to go back and watch some film and see what we did well, and also what we got to work on.
This might be a fun film to watch over and over again.
Yeah, we relied on our experience last night, and our seniors that we expected to do some great things did some great things, and we also had some young kids step up last night into some new roles. So pleasantly surprised with a lot of kids last night, and just really proud of them and for their efforts last night. And it really started back in off-season training, and we had a lot of buy-in with that this year. And last night they saw that it paid off.
You have a lot of skill players, a lot of guys who can make some really good things happen on the offensive side of the ball. But if your defense plays like they did last night, teams are going to have a hard time doing much against the Otters. You shut them out, but you held Park Rapids to 30 total yards, according to Mark's stats, and no passing yards.
Yes, they didn't complete a pass last night. I think they might have had 2 first downs the whole game, and one of them was on a penalty, and kind of a questionable call, but you have to deal with that. But really impressed with our defensive efforts last night. We were flying around and making plays, and I thought for the most part the kids were reading their keys and doing a great job with what they've been taught, and they executed the game plan really well. And so our first shutout since 2017. I just heard from Steve Olson this morning. So we shut out the Prowlers in 2017, and this was the first one since then. So yeah, it's nice to get that one.
Absolutely. And defensively, Levi King had multiple sacks for you. You were pressuring the quarterback when he did try to throw. He didn't have time to throw, and his receivers consequently didn't have time to get open either. Is that going to be the style we see defensively, just an ultra-aggressive type of an approach?
Yeah, I kind of got on Coach Tilke this week. I'm like, hey, I think it's a new quarterback Park Rapids had. They moved one of their receivers to quarterback this year. I'm like, I know from experience, you saw Bethel last year, first year at quarterback, you struggled at times, and it's just a tough position to play when it's your first year. So let's get some pressure. Let's get after them. So I think it could be something that we continue to do, but it all depends on the opponent and our weekly plan.
Well, you have some guys that aren't afraid to be physical and mix it up out there with Levi and Jack Ratz, and the linebacking core is key, it seems.
Yeah, we have Jack Ratz. We have a lot of experience at that spot, and he brings some leadership there. And we have some new kids playing. And we got a good rotation. We got some depth, so that really helps as well. And I was really impressed with Mason Olin. He's a junior this year, and he stepped into a linebacking role last night and really worked hard in the offseason. Just he's a tough kid, and we have a lot of tough kids that just kind of aren't afraid to stick their nose in there.
Is the size of your roster and the experience you have going to allow you to give some guys a break where they don't have to be out there both ways the whole game and get worn out by that fourth quarter? Are you able to do a little bit of that?
Yeah, we have to do a better job of it, and it's something that we haven't been able to do in the past, I would say. So it's going to be kind of a adjustment for us, and we just have to find a way to get guys in there. And yes, I think we definitely have some depth, and that's one of the things we talked about after the game right away last night. And there's some more guys that we have to be able to rotate on both sides of the ball just to give guys a spell for a few plays here and there. So moving forward, that's something we're going to be working on.
And of course, as the weeks go by and you have more practice time, you'll feel more comfortable, and some of the young guys will feel more comfortable stepping into those roles.
Yeah, exactly. The more reps we can get, the better.
Let's talk about offense here, and of course, it all starts up front, and you've got an experienced group of offensive linemen back.
Yeah, 4 returning starters, and those guys I've just been impressed with them. We started, I told them in December after Christmas break, I said, we got to get in the weight room and we got to change some of our habits. A few of them actually cut some weight, and they're a lot stronger. They can move better now. And also they have the experience. So when you combine all that together, they played a really great game last night.
Do you feel this line gives you really good protection in the passing game, as well as being able to control the line of scrimmage in a running attack?
Yeah, I think they can do it all. They didn't give up any sacks last night, and I think we rushed for, it had to have been 200 some yards or close to it. So I think, yeah, they're well balanced and they can do it all. And we have Steve Olson and Steve King back helping with the offensive line, and I think that's been a huge key for those guys, and they've really coached them up well and gotten to the point we're at right now.
Henry Bethel got you on the board. Your second possession of the night. Always good to score early in the game, right? Set the tone.
Yes.
And Henry's got that breakaway ability, and he broke a 36-yard touchdown run for you to get you on the board. And then Jaden Heikas came on and booted the extra point, which is a good way to start there. And that can be pretty important, having that good kicker, too. But talk about Henry's ability to get some offensive excitement and explosiveness out there.
Well, I think anytime Henry has the ball in his hands, anything good can happen. He's explosive. You saw him, he had a few long runs that he scored on. So yeah, we just got to keep finding ways to get him the ball and put the ball in his hands so that he can make plays. And also, I thought he was pretty good in the passing game last night. He was getting the ball out quicker, making his reads. But as always, we just got to fine-tune him a little bit and just on a week-to-week basis find things that we can do with him that he can get in those positions to score.
Sometimes a player with the athletic ability that Henry has can get out of control for you and maybe make a bad thing happen here and there, but as you get experience and get confidence and play more varsity, that kind of settles down, doesn't it?
Yep, I can definitely tell the difference from last year to this year. In football, there's always going to be a bad play here and there. Some things are going to go bad, and we've been talking a lot with Henry about that, and he definitely was, he engineered the offense a lot better last night. He's more comfortable there. He's more mature. He really led our team last night, so I was really impressed with that.
Well, and when your quarterback, your leader on the field, makes those good decisions consistently, that just helps the confidence of everybody in him and in what they can do as a team.
Yeah, I agree, and that's another thing we talk a lot about. And hey, you got to be a great teammate, and you're the leader, and they look up to you. So if they make a bad play, you're going to have to pick them up and build them up, and when they make a good play, go celebrate with them, and did a great job of doing that.
Touchdown passes to Jack Ratz of 17 yards and Isaiah Holmes of 39 yards. Pass routes being run crisply, sharply. You liking what you see there from your receivers?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of experience there too, so that makes a difference. Yeah, I like our passing game. Last night, I think we were probably 65% run and the rest pass, so we definitely focused a little more on the run game, and I think that opened up our passing game for us. And yeah, Henry, he took the open routes, and a couple of them were on Isaiah's. It was a designed screenplay. But yeah, he definitely set them up well and hit the open target.
Yeah, and again, some more playmakers there. You got a lot of options in your offense.
Yeah, as an offensive play caller, that's a good problem to have. My game planning has shifted from what we can do and to more of, hey, I got to get Holmes some touches. I got to get Levi King some touches, Rat some touches, and our running back stable some touches. And what can I do with Henry to get him some touches as well? So that's a great problem to have.
What is the approach with the running backs right now? Is it going to be kind of a running back by committee? Are you going to try to get that one guy that is your go-to bulwark carrier guy, or what's your philosophy there?
Yeah, that changes year to year. Obviously, last year we had Griffin, and you know he could kind of carry that load for us and be that person for us the whole game. But this year, we got a couple sophomores in the mix, and then Karsten Frowning, as he's a senior. I like what they all bring to the table. So going forward, I think it's going to be by committee, and then unless, you know, one of the backs is having a great game, and obviously we'll get him more touches as well as the game goes on.
We're talking Otter football with Chris Grabowska, the second-year head coach of the Otters. 39-0 winners over Park Rapids last night. Your opponent next week for your home opener is Dilworth Glendon Felton. They lost to Barnesville by 10 last night to 24-14, but the Rebels have been really good for a really long time. They've got just a solid tradition. What can you tell us about them, the early scouting report?
Yeah, they're going to be a tough team. They play physical style of football. They're great on the defensive side of the ball. They like to run. Obviously, everybody knows that, and they can hit you with those play-action passes. So we're just going to have to be disciplined this week. We have to match their physicality, and I think we have the tools to do what it takes to beat a team like that. We just have to put together 4 quarters and be disciplined and follow the game plan.
All right, and then the last question, and the one I always hesitate to ask, did you come out of the game okay health-wise last night?
Yep, we did. Yeah, Levi King, he had kind of dislocated his finger, but Dad texted me last night and it's back in place, good to go. So, yeah, I think just other than a couple nicks and bruises, you're always going to get those in a game of football, but we're healthy for the most part.
You mentioned Coach Olson and Coach King, and boy, you've got such a veteran coaching staff, Chris. What a great, and Coach Tilke you mentioned, but you guys have some good rapport there, and you've got a lot of guys working who have a ton of experience in coaching.
Yes, I mean, you can never, that is such a gift to have when you can have that kind of a coaching staff, and I'm really lucky I think it's the best assistant coaches in the state of Minnesota. So I'm really lucky, and they're doing a great job and bring a lot of experience in coaching, and these kids are really benefiting from that.
I'd ask you to mention all of them off the top of your head, but I won't unless you want to.
You got it.
All right. We mentioned the ones I mentioned, but then Ike Carlson and Josh Steer and Keith Pearson and David Dirks and Judah Burlingame and Kyle Owings. Goes on and on and on.
I know, yep. Yeah, all those guys are great with kids and bring a lot of experience and different things to the table. So year 2, you know, we're all kind of starting to mesh together a little bit better, and, you know, we kind of know each other a little bit more now. So I'm looking forward to a great season with those guys.
Well, it's off to a great start, so congratulations on that win. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Chris Grabowska, head coach of the Otter football team, joining us here on our Super Sports Saturday, and we are live from the Layton Media stations, broadcasting stations, and we're going to be back with more. Derek Abrahams, the activities director, will join us as we continue right here on Newstalk 1250 KBRF. It's electric. The all-new Blazer EV has arrived at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls, and let me tell you, it's a pretty cool ride. To celebrate the release of the Blazer EV, customers can save $7,500 on one of the Blazer EVs in stock, or lease one starting around $369 a month. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Ref! That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls. The Fergus Falls Concert Association is celebrating 86 years of bringing outstanding music to this area. Memberships are now on sale for this season's 6-concert series. Plus, your membership extends beyond Fergus Falls. Enjoy concerts in Wadena, Sauk Center, and Alexandria at no extra cost. New this year, your membership card gives you discounts on concert nights at several local restaurants, including Don Pablo's, Mabel Murphy's, Socials Bar and Grill, and Union Avenue Bar and Eatery. Thanks to the generous support of these Fergus Falls Concert Association sponsors: Quality Toyota, Buyer Body and Towing, Nickel Moe and Ellig, Minnesota Motor Company, Olson Funeral and Cremation, and Glendy Nilsson Funeral and Cremation Services, Service Food, Otter Tail Power Company, Kreckelberg Law Firm, and Pioneer Care. Season tickets are on sale now at Victor Lundine's or through your neighborhood ticket seller. Inspire a lifelong love of music in your family with the Fergus Falls Concert Association.
Welcome back. It's our Super Sports Saturday. Welcome to the YouTube audience, too, getting their look at the program here. And Derek Abrahams is joining us, the activities director. You know, the one thing I'm noticing, you're the third guest. That's the third different type of Otter apparel that I've seen. There's a lot of Otter apparel out there, right?
There is, and there's going to be more with our new logo and our new everything that we've put out. Most people have probably seen some of it because as we bought new equipment, new uniforms, and new things last year, at least in our department, we went to all the new once we settled on that, whether it was the Otter head, like you see here, and some of the other things. But now we've fully gone over to our new logo, our new look, our new wording, new colors, or not new, but settled on maroon and gold that we are. And so now everything that you'll see from the school district will have that on it. So yeah, there'll be a lot more opportunities to get the new Otter gear now here this fall.
There are many parts to your job, Derek, and one, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but this prompts the thought in my head. How often do teams get new uniforms, and is that a rotation basis, sport to sport, and how do you make those decisions?
It is. For many years prior, sometimes it's booster clubs, things like that, but we, as a school, we do purchase uniforms on a rotation. Not everything is the same. Football, for example, they actually almost went 10 years with the last ones. We try to take care of them, and they don't have as many games. Usually it's about a 4 to 6 year rotation on uniforms, and so that's what we try to do. So every year we try to bring a few more in, and right now we've put an emphasis on it just because we had a lot of the different maroons and golds, like the Vegas gold and things like that people had used in the past, and now that we have official colors and everything else, we're trying to get everybody in there kind of as soon as we can, but at the same time we're not rebuying uniforms. That's would probably cost us $200,000-$300,000 to replace all of our uniforms at once. So over a span of about 5, 6, 7 years, everybody usually gets a new set.
And that prompts the question, what happens to the old ones? If I'm a player who played and wore that number, can I buy that jersey?
It kind of depends. As a school, sometimes we do some things with that. Sometimes we keep them. Sometimes they're in just really bad shape,
right.
And for a lot of them, it actually gets passed down, depending on the sport. Sometimes they're just too big and it doesn't really work, but you'll see like on our basketball team or things like that, it gets passed down to the JV, those JV to the ninth grade, as long as they work, because they're still usable, and then they have uniforms too. Yep.
Derek Abrahams is with us. He's the activities director at Fergus Falls High School. And your season, the school starts Tuesday, but your season in the activities office started, well, it never ends, really. I mean, you get a little break in the summer, but you've been at it pretty hard here leading up to the fall season.
Yeah, really since about a week before our roundup, which was August 5th. So that last week of July, we get in there, and this month has been some long weeks. Excuse me. Some long weeks. I was just talking to someone else just saying, school starts on Tuesday, and then things kind of get into a groove and it's almost slow down for us, even though all the events happen, because it's all the planning in August and everything like that. So it's been a very, very busy August, a lot of new projects around there. But Amber and I both hit the office probably about almost, I would say, full-time that first week of August.
Okay.
Yep.
So what do fans need to be aware of? New things? The ticketing is still kind of new. It's not new really, but it is new to a lot of people trying to get used to the new ticketing procedures. Yep. What do we need to know?
It's still GoFan, just like it was last year. The advantage this year is that the entire conference now did adopt GoFan. In fact, the State High School League did too. So, so you'll like state tournaments, things like that. It's all right there on that app. Probably the best thing to do is just download the GoFan app on your phone, and then your tickets sit right there. You can find every game, including away games, most away games for the Central Lakes Conference, because we have all used GoFan. Or we all use it now. So you can find all the events on that app. You don't have to download the app. You don't have to do that. If you have a credit card or a debit card, you can pay right at the gate, at least for our home games. And I think most of the CLC schools also have a credit card option at the place. But really easy. You walk in, you show us your ticket or your pass. We are selling passes, and those go on there too. Punch cards, passes. Then you would have to have the app because it sits right in that app. But it's so easy. You just pull it up, as you walk in, or while you're still in the parking lot, walk in, and there you go. You have your ticket. You tap it as you walk in and go in. But very simple. And like I said, with the Central Lakes Conference now, and Detroit Lakes is one of the changes. They're in our conference now this year. So anything at Detroit Lakes as well, you will find it on that app, or any school that uses GoFan, which is more and more.
Okay.
So real simple, just like last year. If you have any questions on it, give us a call. We will gladly help you out. Our ticket people will help you out. But passes are still the best deal if you're coming to a lot of games. And then if you live in the Fergus Falls School District and you're 65 or older, we do still have the Golden Age Pass, and that is actually a hard copy of a pass, and that's good forever. So pick those up too.
Well, yeah, you've been busy since the start of this month and before, but now all the teams are underway. Events are happening. You had a night the other night where you had 4 events going on. I think so you already got workers out there and doing all that. Coaches, though, pretty much in place from last year. You hadn't had a lot of changes.
That's probably one area where we haven't had a lot of changes, which is a good thing. With all the other little construction projects and different upgrades, we haven't had to change coaches, which has been nice. We've had a few additions as assistant coaches and a couple changes there, which have been good changes and good additions to our staffs. But no, as far as coaching staff goes, this is one year where I didn't have to come in a lot this summer and do hiring, which was nice because we had enough other things to do.
Sure.
This summer.
Well, and I do get the question a lot, and I know you do a lot too, because you guys done a great job getting Roosevelt Gym back into the picture for a lot of different events, and we know gymnastics thrives over there, and wrestling gets some good use there, and now basketball, we're seeing more there. What are the plans for games at Roosevelt this year?
Right now, our first game will be, we were going to try to get one in next week, but we're doing kind of a locker room project over there right now. But September 17th, Tuesday, it's homecoming week. We're going to have our first volleyball game over there.
Awesome.
So they're very excited about that. We're still doing projects over there right now. We're just starting a little locker room project, creating team rooms with nice lockers, the open style lockers, to set space apart for our teams that use that gym for games. So that'll look real nice. Trying to make it nice for those players in there, but still hold on to the nostalgia. So we're still doing projects. There was about a $40-some thousand sound system put in this summer, so people will be happy to hear that have attended games there. So the school district did that this summer, so brand new sound system. In fact, all of our gyms, swimming pool as one of the new things. Every space that we use, including with Fayette, got a new sound system this summer or updated sound system. So sounds great right now. Still got a couple things to work out in the Gold Gym, but yeah, so whole new sound system at the Roosevelt Gym, and our first game will be for volleyball will be September 17th against Sartell.
Okay. And you have already seen some postseason tournament action at Roosevelt in basketball the last 2 years. And is that going to expand? Are we going to see more of that type of thing?
We could. It depends on the other sections that use it for the champion. They get to decide which gym they want to be in. It does hold more people, so there is that advantage there, and most have requested that. And our own basketball teams chose to play our playoff games over there too. They just like that environment, and we'll see. It'll be kind of a battle, because if you've been in the new or the Gold Gym, we do have a new floor, or a new painted floor. It's not the new floor. We sand it down. It looks fantastic in there. It's a little brighter and everything else. So that was another one of the big projects for this summer, was redoing the Gold gym floor, because we just want to make sure no matter where we're playing, there's advantages to the gold gym and great things over there. We wanted to keep that up and looking really nice. And then, of course, like I said, we're still adding to that Roosevelt gym, which to me, we have two of the best gyms in the area, so and in the conference, and we have two to choose from. So it's a great thing to have. Two very different environments.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in the winter, we get the holiday basketball tournament, the holiday hockey tournament, a lot of fun stuff over the holidays, too. As far as key events this fall, Derek, I know the Hall of Fame weekend is coming up also, and that's always a highlight of the season. Other things that are kind of the jumping out on the schedule for fall?
Well, this next Friday is Outer Pride Night. And thanks to our friends over at Minnesota Motors, it is going to be a Minnesota Motor Night too. So you get to come over. If you haven't been to that yet, it's a great event in the Gold Gym where for kids, for families, for everyone, just to get geared up for the school year. And all kinds of activities up there. But the Minnesota Motors is also buying everybody's tickets, so it's free admission to the first football game against DGF. And so we expect there'll be literally thousands of people at our stadium, and so it's just a fun night. And so I highly encourage people to come out, check out our football team, our facilities, and everything else. One thing you'll notice too, another project that started about a week ago, if you come to a football or a soccer game, that big fence that kept everybody back has been removed. So it is a lot more open now when you walk. Once you pay for your ticket, it's still the same 3 spots where you come in. But then you'll notice the big fence that divides you from the field has now gone. Okay. So you'll be able to, especially on the sides of the bleachers where it's a little bit flatter, and we have a lot of families that like to sit just east of the bleachers. That fence is gone now. So bring your blanket, bring lawn chairs. It's wide open now. You should be able to get almost basically as close as the track, and to watch some football games now. So I really like the way that looks. It's not quite done yet, but they've been working like crazy the last week. The fences are removed, so if you want to see what it looks like, stop on by. But that was another, which we feel will help enhance the fans' experience at all of our outdoor games.
Kind of like going to a spring training baseball game, right?
It's going to be. It really is nice. Even for our soccer games, people can you just don't feel like you're constrained behind that fence anymore. So we moved it to some other areas, and we're able to do that and reuse the fencing. But it was really opens things up, and we're hoping, like I said, it makes it for a fun. We can pack them in and have plenty of room for everyone.
Sounds like a fun year ahead, so appreciate your coming in, Derek, and talking about it. Always good to get Derek on at the start of each season, and Derek is like the greatest utility guy on the planet, because if I ever have an opening in a show and I need to fill, I just call you, right, Derek?
I always like to talk, so
yeah.
I always enjoy it.
You always have good info for us, too, so
good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Derek Abrahams, Activities Director at Fergus Falls High School. We'll continue with our Super Sports Saturday. Let's see, we have Sabrina Noon, volleyball coming up. We're going to talk soccer with Joel Heikus and tennis with Jamie Lill. All that yet to come here on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
If you have a heart for dogs and cats, consider applying to become a Humane Society of Otter Tail County foster. The need for foster homes is great as we start construction on our expanded shelter. Hi, this is Chris Cannon, the Executive Director of Your Shelter. Did you know we house an average of 55 animals per day? These animals need homes, but maybe they can crash on your couch for now? Find out more and apply at humanesocietyotc.org today, or by calling us at 218-739-3494.
The Speedway Motors Wissota 100, fueled by Minnesota Motor Company, Wash and Go, Falls Laundromat, and KJ Country 96.5. September 11th through the 14th at I-94 EMR Speedway, Fergus Falls. Tickets and camping info at wissota.org. Drivers from around the upper Midwest will compete to be awarded Speedway Motors Wissota 100 champion. Catch the action live on KJ Country 96.5 and with the Fergus Now app. Special thanks to Swanston Equipment, Buyer Towing and Transport, and West Metro GMC Buick. The Speedway Motors Wissota 100, where adrenaline meets excitement.
Love where you work. The YMCA of Northern Sky is hiring for childcare staff, lifeguards, member services, and custodial positions. Join their team and enjoy benefits like a free Y membership, flexible hours, and a chance to make a difference in your community. Whether you're keeping kids safe and active or helping families feel welcome, you're a vital part of the Y family. Apply now at ymcanorthernsky.org/jobs and start your journey with the YMCA of Northern Sky, where your work changes lives.
Are you struggling with Google Ads? SEM, PPC, CTR? It's like a second language. Google says you can do it yourself, but should you? That's where we come in. At Leighton Engage, we have a dedicated team whose job is search engine marketing. Leighton Engage manages your Google Ads, letting you focus on what you do best.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Get in touch today and make sense of digital marketing.
Welcome back. It is our Super Saturday on News Talk 1250 KBRF and on the KBRF YouTube channel. This is Sabrina Noon, the head coach of the Otter volleyball team. I was just saying, 5th year, what in the world? That went so fast, Sabrina. And I know you've been in the program longer than that, but as head coach, and just amazing how fast time flies. But you've got so many kids in your program, which is great to see. I mean, all levels, right? You've had great numbers. How was your summer preparing for this school year?
Our summer, we offer a lot of open gyms, which is basically skill work. And we offer it kind of through, they start at 4th grade, going into 12th grade, and it's, we don't charge the girls anything, so it kind of gets them in the gym, kind of getting them learning the game of volleyball. And then we have league nights where we go every Monday and play a bunch of different teams. And then we offer like a variety of tournaments. So there's a lot of access to volleyball in the summer, and we're trying to get more throughout the younger grades. So yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Well, and you've got such a great base of coaches that are involved in this program. And as a head coach of the varsity team, you know, how important is it to have that kind of a group of people working with your kids?
I am extremely lucky with my coaching staff. They're, through all my levels, I've had great support. I really lucked out. It's interesting, we used to have to, you know, kind of really search for coaches, and now I feel there's a lot more people wanting to coach, and so that's awesome. And we even got someone wrangled back into coaching, Renee Erickson. She's helping out with some of our levels, so that's awesome because she always adds so much value to the game.
She's got a little energy.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And when grandkids start playing, then the grandmas, you know,
oh, of course,
they want to be in there.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you've got a great group, and just the varsity assistants, you know, Dan Zierden, talk about energy.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the original Energizer bunny.
Yes, he is. He just goes, and sometimes we got to keep up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Or you're behind. You know, that's right.
Yep.
With Miranda Steer, Ashley Brimhall, Sherry Smith, Laura Pearson, Lydia Rutten. I mean, volleyball people through and through. So.
Yes, yeah. We're lucky. They're super good with the kiddos, and they're just a really fun coaching staff to be with. It definitely makes the days in the gym a lot of fun.
A lot of input, I'm sure, too. You share a lot of.
Yep, we do bounce a lot of ideas off of each other, you know, the struggles, the trying to make our practices more beneficial. So it's really nice to have a lot of different feedback from different coaches, and, you know, getting new coaches in every now and then, just getting new eyes is extremely beneficial and helpful. Lydia Rutten stepping in is a fresh set of eyes, and not knowing the athletes beforehand and giving her feedback is always valued, so that's great too.
You know, a lot of different things are used in evaluating where a team is at. Obviously, wins and losses is the one we always talk about, it seems. And that isn't always necessarily the case as far as what's the growth of your program, because you're in a conference. I mean, let's be honest, you're in a conference. It's really hard to win in night to night, and you're always up against stiff competition.
Yeah,
you've already seen a couple of Cardinals who are always tough, Wilbur and Alexandria, right? So how do you get through a schedule like you have, keeping kids positive? You started the first two matches with losses to two very good teams, and yet you have to, as a coach, be able to say, well, let's look at what we learned tonight and how did we improve, right?
Yeah. You know, definitely our first game, a lot of jitters. You could tell it was first game jitters, and Wilmer is an extremely talented team. They have their setter, Ellie, who is a sophomore, and she's a beast at the net. I mean, she's a really hard setter to read. She's really hard to play defense on, because when she's in the front row, she has a big attack. And so that's just something that we're going to have to, you know, face going forward, you know, in any team we play. Their setters are
well, we're talking about a girl here that is already being recruited by Division I teams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're up against.
Yeah, yep. And they had a really good hitting. I mean, they have a really good hitting team. But it is hard. Alexandria, their setter is really skilled. They ran a 5-1 against us for the most part. Towards the end, they ran a 6-2, but they had a hitter that we just couldn't shut down. And so, you know, looking at that, like, is our block early? Are we in the right location? Are we pressing? I mean, we can get our hands on a lot of balls, but does it always go in the direction that we need it to, or is it being used against us, or are we doing the proper form? So those are like little things that we're looking at, and then just defensively, how to line our defense up behind our blockers. So it's a lot of strings attached to making something work, and so we're still in the process. Thursday's game was a lot better with our energy. Our rallies were a lot longer. The energy was higher. We weren't giving up, so that was really nice to see. And but still definitely room for improvement.
Talk about your net play. Who are your top hitters up there, and how is it working out? You have a new setter this year also?
Yeah, we have a couple new setters. So hitting, you know, we have actually a lot of options for hitters. We have Brooke Zierden and Bryn Sternberg on the outsides, and they're both very powerful hitters. We have Rachel DeBrito coming out of the middle, and she can jump out of this gym, so she can really be a threat when our passes are on. Bella Anderson and Morgan Welly are kind of like floating between middle and right side, and so they are very interchangeable and do a really good job along the net. So those are some of our hitters, and we actually have some younger hitters coming up into our program that we're kind of see them court time and see what they can do against bigger hitters and the speed of the game, because the difference between our JV and our varsity level, the speed of the game changes drastically. And so just trying to get them some looks on the court, some experience, and so far they've been doing a great job. We've got Carly Hurst has seen some playing time. She's super intense, knowledgeable on the court. We had Isabel Landberg step in a couple plays. She's a freshman, and you know, the nerves are definitely there coming in as a freshman, but definitely has a lot of skill and ability. We have Reese Keel coming in every now and then. We'll have Adelaide Grebe coming in every now and then. So we have a lot of options. We have a lot of seniors on our team that also can fill some roles. Ari Kruger and Addie Carey, they're very strong players. We just have a lot of people on the right side, so it's really hard to get them all in. But we have a lot of beneficial players in our program, so We'll get there. And, our setter situation is unique. We have a senior setter that would be her first time seeing more of the varsity floor this year, and that's Kendall Hansen, and she's got really nice hands. She's kind of coming off of a illness from last week. So, and then we have a freshman setter that's seeing more court time, and her name's Aubrey Day. She's kind of like a sponge. We're probably overloading her right now with information, but she's starting to find her groove and get in there and kind of go with her gut on a lot of plays. And then we have Hannah Johnson, who's a junior, and she's kind of playing a couple roles right now. We're trying to figure out kind of where we're going to sit eventually, but she does a little bit of defensive work, and then she does setting. So we're in the midst of kind of working that part out a little bit.
So, yeah, defensively, Hannah is back there. And who are the girls that you're counting on to pick up that big hit and keep the ball alive?
We have a lot of talented back row players. We have, we have Hannah Johnson that plays in the middle back, and then we have Danny Funkhauser. She's really steady in the back row. Ella Roberts, and we got a new senior this year, Elena Oman, and she can hit and she can play back row, and she's a great addition to our program as well. So that's kind of fun to see. Last Thursday, we kind of, wanted to see what a really young player could do on the court, and we brought an 8th grader up there, Jada Day, and she played a little back row just to see what she could do, and she did great. So we've got some options.
A lot of options, and early in the year, you try to work them in and see who's going to respond to different situations.
Yeah.
So you got a busy week this week. DL Tuesday, Ricori Thursday, those are both home.
Yeah.
But then you go on the road to that Marshall tournament. That's always a test, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We open up with Lakeville North.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's always so fun having our first game because we go in there and, I mean, they're powerhouses. They're just amazing players. And so we just go in there and we give it our all, and we appreciate the good hits they can do and the volleyball that they can play. And we just fight tooth and nail to be there, and it's super fun. I mean, we normally have a blast down there. It's,
sure.
Even though, our first game is against normally a
powerhouse,
state team, but it's still a lot of fun.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, all right, very good. Thanks, Sabrina. Good update on what's happening early in the season. We'll look forward to talking with you, in 2 weeks. You won't be here next week because you'll be in Marshall.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up with you after the busy next 2 weeks, all right?
Okay, sounds good. Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
Sabrina Noon, the volleyball coach at Fergus Falls High School, joining us on our Super Sports Saturday. We'll shift and talk boys soccer with Joel Heikus after the break. You're listening to our Super Sports Saturday Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Otter Tail County. Your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
The Chevy Summer Drive event is going on now at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. Enjoy cashback savings on vehicles like the Chevy Silverado, Equinox, Blazer, and more. Or well-qualified buyers can receive 1.9% APR for 36 months and no payments for 90 days when they finance with GM Financial. Contact the sales team for more information. Together, let's drive. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Are you struggling with Google Ads? SEM, PPC, CTR? It's like a second language. Google says you can do it yourself, but should you? That's where we come in. At Leighton Engage, we have a dedicated team whose job is search engine marketing. Leighton Engage manages your Google Ads, letting you focus on what you do best.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Get in touch today and make sense of digital marketing.
Summertime always goes by too fast. Lakeland Mental Health Center encourages you to take time each day to reflect on your mental health needs. If you're experiencing symptoms of depression, anxiety, or other condition, it's time to act. Make the call to LMHC. Find support and guidance tailored to your needs. Visit lmhc.org with services available in Alexandria, Detroit Lakes, Fergus Falls, Glenwood, Moorhead, Parkers Prairie, and Perham. LMHC is here to help you today for a better tomorrow.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. Ample sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 81. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, lows sit down to about 51. Mainly sunny tomorrow, highs around 70. Mainly clear and dry Monday and Tuesday, low 70s. Monday, upper 70s by Tuesday. Right now, 66.
Welcome back to our Super Sports Saturday on News Talk 1250 KBRF and on our KBRF YouTube channel. Let me introduce you to Joel Heikus, the head boys soccer coach at Fergus Falls. And Joel, you've already had 4 matches, but you got to get them in early in the fall, right? Because you never know.
Yeah, with the weather, and it's a short season, and yeah, when it starts, it's all hands on deck and full force.
Well, and you started great with a couple of wins, beating Minnewaska area 4-1 and Melrose 7-3, and then you had a couple of tough ones with Central Lakes Conference teams, Sauk Rapids, Rice, and Sartell. We were talking with Sabrina about the strength of the Central Lakes Conference. Same thing in soccer, right? I mean, every night out in the conference, you've got a battle on your hands.
Absolutely, yeah. They're big schools and strong soccer programs throughout the whole CLC, really. So yeah, it gives us some really good competition and shows us some things we need to work on. So they were good competitions, but ultimately didn't come out on top like we'd like. But
you know, back to the opener for a minute with Minnewaska area, you had a strong second half, and how encouraging was that? You know, first game you got the jitters, you're trying to figure everything out there, and second half you finished strong, you got the win. That had to feel good as a coach to see your team respond after halftime.
Yeah, very good, because early season, you know, we work a lot of conditioning, and we're telling the guys all the time, soccer's a big-time conditioning sport, and most of your goals are scored in those last 20, 25 minutes, because the team that's in better condition is still quicker to the ball, and those opportunities come up. So, yeah, number of good things in that game. We scored on some set plays. And then, yeah, to end the game with that kind of strength was really good.
And you're getting different guys involved in the scoring. You're not relying on just one guy.
No, that's going to be the strength of our team this year. We possibly the best passing team that I've coached. Jaden Heikus, he runs the center of that field really well. He's worked really hard in the offseason, really bulked up and got a lot of speed. So he's going to be pushing the ball around a lot, and we have a lot of different people that can score and a lot of different guys that are getting assists and getting involved there. So, I mean, that game we had defender score, Quinwin Sheldon, beautiful throw-in, went off the opponent, got his first varsity goal. That's great to see that coming from different areas, yep.
And the game against Melrose, you had 7 goals that you scored, but double that in yellow and red cards between the two teams. What was going on there?
Well, you know, and that's the rough thing. We played that game with only 2 officials, and it's hard. Soccer's a fast-moving sport, and it got away from them that first half. And when it starts getting away, you know, it's high competition, so everything escalates. And so then they tried to settle it down a little bit there in that second half, and it was rough. It was getting pretty bad. I had to switch goalies out 3 times that game due to, you know, aggressive plays and one hit to the head, and yeah, so that was a little rougher than I would like to see.
Yeah. It was strange when I got your report on that. I'd never heard of that in a high school soccer game, for sure. And yet, like you said, if they don't get control of it, and it brings to mind, you know, there is a shortage of officials in every sport. So if there are fans out there and former soccer players who appreciate the game and want to see it run smoothly and the way it should be, properly, and teach sportsmanship to these kids, we could use them, right?
Absolutely, and we actually did a kind of a soccer coaching clinic this last spring, and we had, I think there was 7 current players went out and got their coaching licenses, reffing licenses, so they could go officiate in the summer. And for young people, it's good money to get out there and officiate these rec program games, and then hopefully they continue on when they graduate, because it's a huge need, and we got to be cognizant of that as well as as coaches and as fans. You know, they're going to miss a few things, and it's going to be frustrating. But we got to keep encouraging them, because can't play without them. They're a big part of the game. So.
Let's talk about your team makeup a little bit here. Through the first 4 games, Joel, what has been encouraging to you about what you're seeing out there, and what has been kind of a reminder that, oh man, we got to spend a little more time on this area?
So it's been a real positive atmosphere, and like I said, the guys are they're getting better at possessing that ball. But at the same time, that's where we got to work. Sauk Rapids Rice game, definitely a game we should have been a lot more competitive in, but we came out flat, and we just kind of seemed to panic when we got the ball at our foot, and didn't possess the way we needed to. So be working on that. But one of the, I guess, probably the biggest positive I see is we're scoring goals. Mm-hmm. Seasons past, we had really strong defenses, but we were having a hard time scoring goals. Last year we did pretty decent, but this year starting out, we got to continue this, because we got to have both offense and defense. So.
Well, and it's like you mentioned too earlier. It's not only putting the ball in the net; it's passing the ball, getting the best opportunity, and that's where your midfielders come into play a lot. That transition from defense to offense, and let's start that striker toward the net for an opportunity to score. Who's kind of anchoring your midfield right now? Who's doing that for you?
So that would be Jaden Hikas. He's good team leader. Of course, senior this year, and he's dishing that ball really well, finding his drops and kind of setting it up really well. And then you got Marshall next to him, who's been he's got really good touches, and they're coming along in communication. And then typically we have Braden Albert out there, and there's been Matthew Toole's been in there, and some of the younger guys, Zane Coleman and Isaiah Lawson. So we got a number that we're working with in that midfield. But yeah, the 2 real staples are Jaden and Marshall.
Okay. And defensively, and you mentioned having to switch out your goalkeeper a few times in the game at Melrose. Let's start there. How are you handling the goalkeeping, and what about the people right in front of them defending?
So in net, we've got 2 good options. Aiden Godwin, he's a junior, and he's been doing well, improving all the time. And then we got Kyle Beck, who he's tough because he's good in net, but he's also very powerful out on the field. So it's hard to, some of these games, hard to put him in net when I'm feeling like, if I got somebody dinged up or something at defense or mid. He's played some mid too. He's a good option for that. So, and then strong defense. We brought Coulter McGinnis on. He's played soccer his whole life in the summer, but this is his first year playing fall soccer, and he's just fast and smart. And then Alec Prishman is. And he got his first goal too from defense, and he's just a powerhouse. He's fast and he's so smart, Alec is, and he plays inside. And then we got Quinn Sheldon, of course, and he's also big, strong, and amazingly fast for his size. And then on the left side, we've been playing mostly Noah Schlosser, who he's a little lighter, but he's also very fast, and his footwork is improving all the time. So we have a pretty solid defensive line there. So.
Okay. Well, the fans, if they want to see you play, they can do it Tuesday. You got Brainerd coming in Tuesday, and then Wilmer on Thursday, and there's a couple more Central Lakes Conference teams. How are they?
So always good, Brainerd got a new head coach this year, and from the games I've been looking at, they haven't been scoring a lot of goals, but they're a huge school. They always bring really athletic team to the pitch. So it'll be tough. Brainerd, it's a winnable game, but it'll be tough. And then of course Wilmer, they also have been playing some somewhat low scoring games, but they've been been winning in the CLC, so they're going to be tough. And traveling to Wilmer, it's I don't know if I want to say it's a hostile place to play, but it's
a tough place to play. We've covered some games there in the past, and
Yep. So it'll be good competition.
Who's helping you out this year?
So I got Kevin Feldbaum back as assistant coach, and then Caleb Peterson, JV, and then Joey Johnson as well. He's a past player, has come back, and he's been doing just an excellent job. He really gets the guys pumped up and focused. So
Always love it when former players come back and start filling in the coaching ranks.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that's how a good, strong program is built.
Yep.
People come back and are invested in it, and it just strengthens the program top down.
All right, Joel, thanks so much for your time this morning, and good luck this week. Keep her rolling.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, Joel Hike is head coach of the Otter Boys soccer team, joining us here on our Super Sports Saturday. We'll be back with tennis. Jamie Lill will be next on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Back to school safety presented by Fergus Falls Monument at ForeverStoneMemorials.com.
Some of the best advice young children can heed is to never accept a ride from a stranger, even for a short distance, even if he claims to be a family friend. Parents, make sure your child knows what to do in any situation.
Lakes Country Roofing always practices safety when they're fixing your roof. For back to school, make sure you're practicing safe driving, watching for buses and crosswalks.
Lakes Country Roofing, we got you covered at the lakes.
On Sunday, September 15th, join St. Paul Lutheran Church as they host their 49th annual Fall Festival. Festivities will kick off with worship from 10 to 11, featuring music by Crossroads. From 11:30 till 3, enjoy a delicious lunch, baked goods, and produce. The festival's auction begins at 1, featuring baby items, garden produce, hand-embroidered pillowcases, and much more. So come join the 49th annual St. Paul Lutheran Church Fall Festival on September 15th, 26141 300th Street, Fergus Falls, just 2 miles north of Wheatown.
Want to cultivate your family's love for music? A family membership to the Fergus Falls Concert Association is a perfect way to start. 6 outstanding concerts in Fergus Falls, plus your membership extends beyond Fergus Falls. Enjoy concerts in Wadena, Sauk Center, and Alexandria at no extra cost. Some of this season's concerts include Letters from Home, a USO-style show, the Orchid Quartet, an elegant string quartet, and Street Corner Symphony, a hip, fun male a cappella quintet. Thanks to the generous support of Concert Association sponsors, Quality Toyota, Nickelmo and Ellig, Bayer Body and Towing, Minnesota Motor Company, Olson Funeral and Cremation Service, and Glendy Nelson Funeral and Cremation, Service Food, Ottertail Power Company, Kreckelberg Law Firm, and Pioneer Care. Season tickets are on sale now at the Victor Lundin Company or through your neighborhood ticket seller. Inspire a lifelong love of music in your family with the Fergus Falls Concert Association.
All right, we are back on our Super Sports Saturday on News Talk 1250 KBRF and on our KBRF YouTube channel. I'm kind of introducing the coaches here as we go.
Oh.
Hi, yeah, see, cameras are there, Gene.
I didn't know I had the camera. Whoopsie. I've got a face for radio.
I always say that. That's my line.
Okay,
But
sorry.
Jamie Lill is here. She's the head coach of the Otter girls tennis team. And are you halfway through the season yet? I mean, you've been playing like every day.
We have. It has been absolutely crazy. And every year we know this is how we start because we throw in as many matches as we can before school hits, because then we run into sunlight issues and missing so much school because we play early in the day. So, yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I was looking at the schedule here, and you're 9-1 in duels. You had a great Park Rapids Invitational to start the season. I was like, how are we going to recap all of this? And I determined that the way we're going to do it is to talk about your lineup, because, you know, for the first several matches, you went with what's going to be your A lineup, I imagine, at least at this time of the year, till things change, which they always do, it seems, due to injuries or illnesses or other things. But Jamie, take us through, because you've just had such great production, I mean, up and down the lineup.
Oh, absolutely. And we knew coming in, we were hopeful for some great things because we lost 3 players last year, and one was at the top of our ladder, so we knew that'd be a big deal. And then another doubles team of seniors that graduated. But to my I'm just ecstatic. The girls work so hard, and we have filled in these spots so seamlessly. And obviously, things are going well if we're 9-1. So I'll just go through our singles kind of first. Stepping up to first singles is Ruby Ellison, who has done an amazing job at 1 for us. She's played 14 matches. I think she's lost 3. So she's rolling through many of them.
And at number 1, you always get the toughest player on the other team.
You just get that top dog, and she's out there to battle for it every day. And sometimes she steamrolls, and it's almost like I need her to get more competition up there to see what it feels like. In the last few matches, she's gotten to play some really good girls. She got a couple losses there, but they weren't blowout. I mean, she's right in these matches, so it's good for her to see that level of competition, because we know we're the smallest AA school in the state. So we're going to see bigger and bigger schools as we try to get into postseason, and seeing this big competition is awesome for us. And the CLC does a nice job of, throwing that at us. We don't have a choice, so there they come. But she's doing a great job at 1. Layla Zozel has stepped in. She slid up a spot to the number 2 role, and one thing about Layla is she is going to give it her all the time, and she's kind of my duck this year. She's the one that, on the surface, you just see her going along, and I don't know if she's treading water and struggling underneath or not, because she's calm and cool all the time. She doesn't get frustrated. She's killing it at number 2, and honestly, one of her matches on Thursday this week, she lost the first set 6-1. And that's not a great score. And she's like, I am right in this. They're just not going my way. And she knew that she was playing well enough. She came back, got the second set to force a third, and won the match.
Wow.
So she doesn't get deterred or defeated when she's down. So her mental game is so tough that she's just a great person to have in that role. And then number 3 and number 4 were kind of new surprises for us. Allie Bradenberg played a couple matches last year in the varsity lineup, but we threw her in at 3, and I'm thinking, oh no, she didn't even get to start at 4, and here she goes. She is just rocking it at 3, and she's the grittiest girl. She'll run into a fence if she needs to. She gets to everything. She's got every shot in her bag, so she can drop them, she can run them all over, but she just plays a great all-court game, and she will never give up on a ball, and she's finding great success at 3 right off the bat, so kudos to her. And then filling in at number 4 for us so far this season has been Siri Smestad, a senior, who's been right on that cusp for the last few years of the top girls, just breaking into the varsity lineup. And she's come in and she's done an awesome job. And she's also slid over to help us in some doubles the last few matches. And we have now had to do some changes. We had some girls out.
Right.
But Siri's doing a great job. She's a great just number 4 singles player, just the girl who's willing to get the ball back in and keep playing the point. And when she gets her chance, she's pretty aggressive for a 4, and she'll go for things. So she's finding a lot of success there too.
And doubles, you have, of course, Hattie Fullhart and Ashton Lilback to lead you at the top. And boy, they're so familiar with each other, and they had such great success last year, and they just kind of picked up right where they left off.
They really did. I mean, they're 14-0, Craig. They went back and they dominated that first tournament. As reigning champs, they took that tournament pretty easily, and they really are. It's hard to say too many great things about their matches, because a lot of them are like 6-1, 6-0, 6-1, 6-2. But really, it's staying mentally charged and knowing they could let up, and they don't have to play their best to win some of these matches. But they don't. They do not let up. There's no way Hattie Fullhart is letting up on a ball. So we're finding ways to work on things even when they don't have the most challenging matches. Their best match of the season came yesterday. Thief River had a number 1 doubles team that was a really good, solid team, and it's exactly what Ashton and Hattie needed. They had to, use their thinking caps a little bit more. They're problem solvers out there. Their goal is for me not to come talk to them, because they know they're doing their job if I stay away, right? And they did that. They ended up winning 6-2, 6-4 against a very good team, and they make it look routine, and it's so fun to watch, honestly. So kudos to these girls. And they're our captains this year. They just go out and lead by example. Like, they know they could let up, and they just won't. They just won't. And then at 2 doubles, we got Carson and Dylan Lil. They slid up from 3 last year, and they've had a great season too. They've lost a couple matches now. Yesterday was their best match of the season, I would say, by far, and it was actually a loss for them. But Thief River had a great doubles team, and they came out, and Carson and Dylan found themselves down 5-0 in like a heartbeat. And I come out, and they're like, Mom, I don't think we're playing bad. I think and I'm like, this is when the fun begins, girls. Now we get to talk about why we have to be so precise on our lobbing or our cross court or when we make these shots, because when you get these top level teams, you make a little bit of a mistake and you're going to pay. And my girls had a lot of overheads coming at us to start with, and it was a great learning experience for these 8th graders. And sure enough, we get to the set, we determined we got to get on the board this first set, so we got something going. And the second set was tight the whole way, and it was just amazing tennis. We ended up dropping it 7-5, but I just wish we could have played a third set, even if they still lost, because just for them to get used to that level of play, because honestly, they haven't dropped very many games this year either. So that was great for them. And then for the bulk of our matches at 3 doubles, we've had Kaya Ness and Annie Mayer. And Kaya has played both sides of the lineup for me before. She was consistently in singles most of the time last year. And Annie Mayer is a senior who stepped in and kind of earned her spot there. And at that first tournament, they kind of worked through some kinks together and learned about, oh, there's a reason we have to do this or this, because otherwise we pay for it. And they've been just gelling ever since, and it's been great to watch them play. That's a pretty powerful team for a 3 doubles team. Kaya can serve with a lot of pace, and Annie puts a lot of balls away. She's got a great range at the net with her long arms, and so that's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you've got this solid lineup of these great competitors, but that's not all. You've got depth. I mean, you've got girls that can plug in different places, and you won't skip a beat or miss much at all.
No, and that's exactly it. So then we've got 6 other girls who are just right there, and some of them got a taste Thursday and Friday. So I'll just kind of talk about them. Yep. Julia Highcheck is right there, and she would have been my first sub for that third double spot, but of course she fell sick the day it was going to be her turn. So, but she is right there and just working hard every practice, and she's earning it. Annie Proudfoot stepped in and played some doubles for us on Thursday, and she played a singles match for us yesterday, and just comes in and knows her job and does her job. Annie put in so much work this summer. Her strokes are like textbook strokes, so it's just getting her the confidence to know she can go out there and swing away and do those things. We've also got Raquel Prody and Avery Bartholomew, who often play doubles together, like our first JV doubles. And Avery played some varsity for us the other day and got a nice win at 3 dubs with Kaya. That was great to see. And then we also have Juliana Flugstead and Siri Antonison Brown. And honestly, I don't consider anything without all 16 of these girls, because really that bottom group of girls are all working hard and all have their strengths, and at different times could all be called into the varsity lineup. So it's awesome to have that sort of depth as well.
Great options, and what a nice problem to have too many kids,
yes,
right? That
yes,
you gotta
absolutely.
figure in.
I'll take it.
Yeah. And I know you've got some great assistant coaches helping you out, so talk about them. Give them a little love here.
Okay, I would love to do that. So Roy Anderson is one of my assistant coaches. He's been in the program longer than me. I'm worried for the day that I don't have Roy right there, because I don't even know all the things Roy does. I think he just does them seamlessly because that's who he is. Yep. And he works primarily with our younger JV, because that's just his wheelhouse, and he gets the girls ready to come up to my courts. Jesse Schneeberger is back for, I think, his 4th year, and he's a great asset to have. He was a great tennis player himself, so sometimes I need his just physical skills to go whoop up on some of our girls who are getting too good for me these days. Right. And so he's a great asset. And Norm Newell, who has been around the tennis courts for a long time here in Fergus. He gave me lessons. He's given a lot of my team lessons. He's willing to do camps for us in the summer. Just a great tennis mind and a great tennis person, always willing to do anything. And I will say we've had a super wet, yucky tennis. It's the worst in my 13 for falls. These gentlemen have pushed so much water trying to clear courts just to have it rain again, but they put in so many hours behind the scenes doing all the things. And a quick shout out to Norm, because he's had this dream for a couple of years of getting to play Ruby and the Lils in the singles lineup, and it happened the other day for him. So he just wanted to be able to sing that, I think, was the real goal. But he's so good at talking lineups with me and just giving good feedback. And we don't always agree, and it's great because he'll tell me why he's right, and I'll tell him why I'm right, and then we'll just go from there. But great guy to have on court with us.
Awesome. Well, nice job going through that in our limited time here. I'll look forward to talking more specific matches next time with you, all right?
Sounds good. We've only got 3 this week. We're slowing down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh, good deal. Well, keep it up.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Jamie Will, the head coach of the Otter girls tennis team, joining us here on our Super Sports Saturday. Sounds like we're done, huh? I thought we had one more. I'm off. See, this is new to me, too, so this is it. So we'll be back with the show again next week, or we'll take a break here and come back to wrap it up. I'm not sure. We'll be right back We are wrapping it up. Thank you very much. Yeah, that helps. I'm coming back next week at 8 o'clock. We'll talk Otter sports again for an hour and a half, 8 to 9:30 on News Talk 1250 KBRF and on our KBRF YouTube channel, too. Thank you for tuning in, whichever way you prefer to watch. And be sure to join us every week, fall and winter season, for our Super Sports Saturday.